The Tao of Self-Confidence, episode 794. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello, friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yak-Chan, and today I have a phenomenal lady on the show today. She's the head of the Women's Wellness Center at Makati Medical Center in the Philippines, and I'm really excited to have her on and share her story with us today on self-confidence. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Dr. Gia Sison. Dr. Gia, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to the listeners.
Yes, hi Sheena, and hi to all the listeners of the Tao of Self-Confidence, and I'm super honored to be invited on your show, Sheena. So just a bit of a background, I'm also a breast cancer survivor of 6 years, and I'm a hardcore mental health advocate as well, and I'm the advisor of the Youth for Mental Health Coalition here in Manila.
Thanks for sharing that. And Dr. Gia, what's your cultural background?
I'm Filipino. I'm a Filipina. I'm Catholic too.
Thanks for sharing that. In your own words, how do you define self-confidence?
In spite of me being broken and everything, my past failures and mistakes, self-confidence is something that's really just being you, embracing your individuality, and just being yourself, whatever it takes. That's how experience taught me self-confidence the hard way.
Thanks for sharing that great definition. And it's so true, right? I mean, as women, especially as Asian women, I think it's challenging for us to embrace our individuality because of the way we're brought up and the programming. And we just have to realize, just because we've been taught that doesn't mean it's the truth. We can go out there and be who we are. And now, more and more women are out there, embracing their individuality, their authenticity, and showing others what's possible. So thanks for sharing that. Dr. Gia, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
My life before I'm basically an extrovert. I love going out. I literally love my job to the point that I work 24/7. Then when I got cancer 6 years ago, it kind of taught me how the meaning of rest is, and that you weren't born to work. You work to live, and you don't live to work. So that was how cancer taught me. And with that, the self-confidence I had both as a mother, a wife, came back. So it taught me the hard way, but I would always say this, that I'd forever hate cancer, but I would forever be grateful for the lessons it has taught me.
Thanks for sharing that. And, it's unfortunate that happened to you, but I'm glad you're still here sharing your story. And yeah, I mean, sometimes we have to go through that hard stuff to learn the lessons or to build our self-confidence and, be who we are today, be that strong person, especially for women, right? I mean, as women, we go through a lot of stuff, a lot of hard stuff, especially more as a mother. I think mothers, are like underappreciated, and it's just like the hardest job in the world, and you're like underpaid. And so we really have to realize, we can conquer a lot of obstacles and roadblocks. And were there any other aha moments when you realized you had the confidence to go out there and be who you are today?
That I'm capable of doing. I have ambitions, but one aha moment in my life is when I was able to surpass something I never thought I would be able to do. Like, it's a simple. I would do blogs. I would blog, write everything. It was just a dream before to have a small book in a journal. And when suddenly I met someone who was willing to publish my small book and journal, and that simple dream of mine came true. So I wasn't expecting that. Really, if you put your heart into something that you really love doing, you see, the universe conspires to make it happen.
Thanks for sharing that. And I think that's a great story that you shared with us, because, we still feel like there's so many things we'd love to do, but never would think of doing, like maybe, like you mentioned, writing a book or blogging or, starting a business, starting something new, or, whatever it is, right? Like, we have to realize sky's the limit. And just because we don't take big steps doesn't mean it can't happen. We can always take those, little steps to get where we are. Like you mentioned, you just start blogging, you wrote a small book. Yeah, you wrote a small book and it got published, which is great, right? And like if someone wanted to start a book, they could just start writing a page a day for like a whole year and they would have a whole book right there. But it's these small steps that would yield those big results. And, because of those realizations, what's your life been like now?
Well, so far my life is, I'm happy with it. I'm grateful each day, even if I just found out recently that I had a heart problem because of chemo 6 years ago. But I just felt that after hearing that diagnosis, it was quote unquote a little bit better because I've learned to accept that some things happen really, and that I just have to work on being well. But I'm back to work, and it just taught me how to be grateful each day of my life. Yeah, my life is one hell of a roller coaster. But yeah, I think gratefulness is a trait that would help us, everyone, would cope with life's difficulties.
Thanks for sharing that. And, to the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey to self-confidence. What would be that one tip you'd give to her?
I'd like to give her my encouragement that she's not alone. Self-confidence is a dynamic process. It doesn't happen overnight, but it doesn't mean that you're not normal or something. Self-confidence is something that is built, and it's never unachievable. You just have to believe in yourself and say to yourself that I can every day. Every day when you wake up, you say I can. And those words of affirmation can actually do you a lot of good.
Thanks for sharing those great tips. Again, I totally agree. I know sometimes we feel like we're alone in this journey, especially, the obstacles and challenges and roadblocks that we face, or the self-doubt and the struggles that we have. But, the more we can share our stories and what we've been through and how we can overcome them, it can really help us realize like we're not the only ones here. And if she is able to overcome it, then I'm able to overcome it. So, I'm glad you're able to share your story. And if our listeners wanted to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do and check out some of your work, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Yeah, they can follow me on Twitter at Gia Sison. That's Giasison. And they can go to giasison.com. That's my blog site. And they'll know more about me there.
Thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Dr. Gia, you can also head on over to the and search for Dr. Gia's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else that we talked about. And I really just want to thank Gia today for taking the time to share her story and tips with us on self-confidence. So thank you so much, Gia.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheena. And thank you to all listeners.
Not a problem. It was really great having you on the show. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of The Tao of Self-Confidence. Please subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify to get your daily boost of confidence.